Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5. Spoilers, you've been warned. The very opening of the episode, yeah, you get a real flashback to the time where Anakin was Obi-Wan's Padawan, and, you know, seeing a 40-year-old Hayden Christensen playing a 19-year-old. I mean, you could explain that somewhat happening between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, so he does look older, but yeah. It was great to see the chemistry of these two characters again on the screen. I appreciate that scene. I don't have a huge problem with that. I really liked what Leia did, even though she was in the center of the action in this episode. She still kind of had a role of just being Leia, you know, the Leia Organa we know and love. Even her as a 9-10-year-old, she can save the day, and I really appreciated that. Now, Reva, as I predicted, there was much more to why she's so fixated. I understand her reasoning, and of course it doesn't surprise us. I find it, though, hard to believe that she knows who Lord Vader is. Look, when Anakin became Darth Vader, it's not like they started, hey, by the way, we have a Jedi joining us. I think that was quite of a tight keep secret who Darth Vader's identity is, like amongst the Empire. So I find it hard to believe that Reva actually knew the identity of Lord Vader. So it makes sense for Reva as a character to her motivations and her desires. It does not make a logical sense, and that's where, even for Star Wars fans, I think it's going to be hard to make that connection, because, you know, we can shut an eye to a bad CGI or inconsistencies, or like the very famous one, how can Leia remember her mom even though she died at childbirth? Like, obviously there are some inconsistencies that fans are willing to close their eye to, but it's annoying. Let's just put it bluntly, it's bloody annoying. Yeah, as I predicted, it's far more difficult to kill the Sith. Obviously, we had Darth Maul coming back, we had Palpatine coming back, but that's for another day, another discussion. Yeah, the Grand Inquisitor, Rupert Friend, he's back. I'm glad, because I liked his character. I liked his coldness and very Empire persona in there, which has also the Sith, the pure evil kind of DNA in there, and it really works. I think he's a very compelling character. Let's not try to explain how did he survive. He just did, but I called it. It wasn't that big of a surprise. Okay, for the good stuff, for the good shots, or something that made my heart stop was definitely the Darth Vader holding the ship, which was a huge callback to Force Unleashed. I know we have seen something similar in The Lost Jedi. However, Force Unleashed did it first. It gave me this, you know, Rogue One callback also to Vader just being, you know, furious and just really going for what he wants. I thought that was really cool, the way he held the ship. The Lost Jedi also did that, but Starkiller did it first in The Force Unleashed. Great game. Obi-Wan also decided to share one of the most important pieces of information to one of the sleekest person he could find. I see how he chose a lesser evil, but I would definitely given it to the guy in charge of the path that was there, not this guy. There were some of the worst shooting scenes in the history of the freaking Star Wars universe. How did Obi-Wan survive, you know, having a horde of stormtroopers shooting at him with just him and the lightsaber? Not even Jedi Masters could do that. And yeah, I mean, you could do that in Jedi Outcast if you played on codes, you know, but yeah, in real Star Wars universe, nope. You would die. You could not hold that back, especially when you're disconnected from the Force. Lastly, Reva survived. Yeah, I remember when the lightsabers were probably one of the most powerful tools or weapons. Tools, Jesus Christ. Lightsabers were one of the most powerful weapons at one point. You know, that was the whole point in every Star Wars game you play. The moment you actually get your lightsaber, you're invincible, or I mean, you're pretty good. It's sad to see that it's not as lethal anymore. The series shows that carrying a lightsaber is like holding a pocket knife or something very, very less lethal, because technically nothing really happens. Yeah, here the lightsabers don't have that much power, and it does take away from Star Wars, because Star Wars is all about freaking lightsabers and the Force. And when that stops working, when that stops having some gravity or importance in the story, then Star Wars becomes not cool anymore. And this is the last thing any of a Star Wars fan would like to see. So this episode was better than the previous one. A lot of, smiles, a lot of nostalgia, but you can't go on nostalgia and sort of change its course. It's like watching Stranger Things and then deciding to switch it to 50s or whatever. It's just not Star Wars anymore. You cannot take tropes of Star Wars and turn it into its own thing. You have to stick to for it to be Star Wars. That's why Mandalorian worked. They used Star Wars elements, however they kept the rules and the logic behind not only Star Wars universe, but the actual, real life. I'm speaking as not only a Star Wars fan, but also someone who, been following and studying pop culture for years now. It's heartbreaking to see one of the most important pieces or artifacts of our film cinema being butchered for no apparent reason other than lousy writing. Prequels somewhat recovered because of that. I wonder what's gonna take for this series to be recovered. It's just like a self-service series that takes some elements from Star Wars, but it does its own thing.